This video was produced by the Institute for the Advancement of Community Pharmacy and the National Community Pharmacists Association and the National Association of Chain Drugstores. This film is a dramatization. It is based on real events and meant to encourage discussion and analysis. Please refer to the accompanying CE monograph and viewer's guide for a review of the concepts portrayed.
Even now, I get angry thinking about it. And it's not just because of what happened initially, but it's also because of what happened afterwards.
Very simple, nothing to worry about.
My 4-year-old son David had what our doctor called a very simple case of pink eye.
Yes, you're welcome. And a little something for Mom to take home, too.
She wrote a prescription for eye drops and said that things should clear up in a few days.
There you go.
So I picked the medication up at the pharmacy, went home, and followed the directions very carefully.
Okay, honey. We'll just put these in, and soon you're going to be all better, okay?
Okay.
Can you tilt back for me a little more?
I put drops in one eye, but right away something was wrong. He ran around crying for I don't even know how long. I was really scared.
It says, oh.
The nurse at the doctor's office had me read what was on the label, and that's how I discovered that I had put eardrops in my son's eye. Then later, I returned to the drugstore. I was pretty upset, but before I could even tell the pharmacist what happened, he was interrupting me.
Well, sometimes kids don't like to have things put in their eyes. You know, there's a difference in the pH.
No, my doctor says this is the wrong prescription.
You called the doctor?
Yes.
Well, let's see what you got there. And sometimes with doctors, they really don't know what to do.
He just wouldn't let me tell him what the problem was. No. She looked at this and she said that these are drops for ears and not for eyes.
Yeah, these are definitely otic drops. The ones you want, the ophthalmic, those are the ones for the eyes. But sometimes you can't put eye drops in the ears.
He kept going on about drugs without any idea that what I wanted to hear from him had nothing to do with medicine.
It's kind of a strange thing to do. I mean, most people
look,
just look at the
you don't seem to understand how scared this whole thing made me. I mean, I thought I had damaged my son's eyes.
Oh, no, there's really nothing to worry about.
The more he talked, the angrier I got. The way he was screaming, it did not sound minor.
Oh, look, I tell you what,
Then came something that really irritated me.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Bill, Dr. Clemens is on line 1.
Oh, good, I'll be right there. I really need to take this call. I've been trying to get a hold of this doctor, and it's really important that I talk to him. So, give me about 5 minutes, and we'll take care of this, okay? Thanks.
And just like that, he was gone.
Is this a joke? Are you kidding?
And I got to stand around while he went off
and did something more important.
So the pharmacist leaves her to take a phone call? Not a good idea.
He's probably been waiting for that doctor to call him back. We all know how that is.
Sure, but the patient's got the wrong medication. What kind of message are you sending if a phone call, even from a doctor, takes precedence over that? Besides, you can always call the doctor back.
You mean and start another round of phone tag?
Hey, it's about prioritizing.
Well, maybe more than prioritizing. Some pharmacists, including this one, don't understand that the way you respond to a patient who has an error complaint can make all the difference between resolving the situation or making it worse.
Absolutely. And this guy's definitely on his way to making it worse. Is there more to the letter?
There's more. She goes on to say,
I waited 10 minutes, not 5, for him on his phone call. And then he started on the prescription. Finally, he returned.
It's taken care of.
I'll take a look at it this time, if you don't mind.
We'll do.
To him, the correctly filled prescription fixed the whole problem, but to me, that was only part of it. I mean, this was their mistake, and he never even seemed concerned about it, or did he ever give me even half of his full attention. There was no concern for what my son and I had gone through, or even any mention that they were going to check into what actually happened. If this is how they deal with people that have legitimate complaints, frankly, I don't think that I could trust him or the pharmacy
again.
So, another error that shows up here, but clearly shouldn't have gotten this far.
Maybe. But I'm still thinking the pharmacist meant well, like he was trying to help.
Trying, maybe. But it sure didn't come across that way to the patient. He's forgotten the importance of first just listening. Letting the patient tell the problem in her own words.
Right. And after that, he's not using what's at hand. The power of words to help the situation. I mean, she wanted him to acknowledge her concern, not talk about medicines.
So something like, I can see how you would have been very frightened, Mrs. Morrison. That might have helped.
And possibly, is there something I can do to help the situation now? I mean, the patient is angry. You want to diffuse that anger. Showing genuine concern for their welfare and then expressing that goes a long way toward doing that.
So, despite his best intention, he only winds up adding fuel to the fire.
Despite his intentions, yeah. Well, it's one thing for a pharmacist to deal with an angry patient who confronts them with an error. It's another when a patient comes in calm and leaves angry. Listen to this.
Okay, I admit it. At 43, I wasn't ready to deal with a chronic illness, let alone something called gastroesophageal reflux disease. About 3 weeks ago, my doctor started me on medication. But then the pain didn't go away like he said it would, so I got concerned.
All right, Kenny. You look like you're hurting.
Oh, man, it's just this pain in my chest keeps coming back.
Thought your medication was supposed to deal with it.
So did I.
You've been taking the medication like...
At my follow-up, the doctor figured out what had gone wrong. Instead of giving me what he had prescribed for my acid, the pharmacy gave me something for depression, and I've been taking it for 3 weeks.
But this is the wrong prescription. I didn't write this.
So during my lunch break, I went back to the pharmacy to get the right medication.
Excuse me, miss.
The place was very busy, and right from the start, the pharmacist made it very clear that she had little time for me or my problem.
Well, I'm supposed to be taking something for an acid problem, but instead you gave me something for nerves.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Okay. Peace pills. No, my doctor looked at this, and he said this is not what he prescribed for me.
So he didn't prescribe an antidepressant?
No, he prescribed something for acid reflux.
Oh, well, as you can see, we're really busy, and I'm going to have to look into this. It's just going to be a while.
Miss, I don't have a while.
Yes, the place was hectic, but I didn't think I was asking for too much.
Look, miss, I came here on my lunch hour to get this worked out.
Even after she said she didn't fill the prescription, instead of doing what was necessary to fix the problem, she just went on and on about how inconvenient it would be for her.
Look, I didn't fill your prescription, and if it's an error like you say, I have to go to the file, pull the original, and fill it from that.
I need this medication.
Okay. But you're going to have to wait a while.
So I waited. When she finally returned, she had my medicine and the original prescription.
Okay. Well, just so you know, the problem was actually with the prescription that your doctor wrote. See, this handwriting is so illegible, we can't even read what it says.
This, according to her, made it a very understandable mistake, one I should simply accept. Now, earlier, I might have accepted it, but because she seemed so rushed and couldn't give me 2 minutes of her time, I had trouble believing this wasn't just an excuse.
All right, now how can we be absolutely certain?
I asked her if they have a system to double-check prescriptions and prevent mistakes like mine.
Sure. I went to the back, I pulled the prescription myself, and I called your doctor to make sure. Now look, I really have to go back to work.
Back to work? I am your work. Right here. I'm the patient.
Look, sir, you don't have to get angry.
Truth is, I don't care that much about the mistake. What bothers me is how she kept putting me off and avoiding responsibility for solving the problem. It makes me wonder about this system they have in place to keep this from happening again. I also wonder what are they doing to teach pharmacists about just dealing
with people?
Talk about your missed opportunities. Here's a patient that's probably open to the simplest gesture of concern, and the pharmacist just messes it up.
Yeah, but remember, this isn't occurring in a vacuum. Some days things happen around you at warp speed. Then someone complains they got the wrong medicine.
Which you had nothing to do with, and now you've got a problem you have to solve.
So, the point is not to focus on who did what wrong. It's to help the patient.
No question.
Even in a busy store, as a professional, she has to take responsibility for the error and try to make it right.
Meanwhile, word has got to get out that when an error is brought to your attention, no matter what you're doing, you have got to stop and focus on the patient.
How easy is getting that message out going to be?
Well, if this is any clue, it's happening already.
Honestly, I was shocked when I found out. After my doctor put me on a higher dose of warfarin, I thought everything was fine. But then, when my lab results weren't what he was looking for, he checked my pills. What he saw were the old tablets, not the new ones he'd prescribed. Well, maybe I should have been paying closer attention to what I was taking, but someone else should have too. Hi, I'm Connie Waters. I went back to the pharmacy where I've been going for years and found a pharmacist there I've never dealt with before.
Got it. Bye-bye. Excuse me, Linda?
Yes.
There's a patient out front who's a little upset. Apparently she got the wrong prescription.
What'd she get? I didn't know her. She didn't know me. In this situation, I wasn't sure what to expect.
I'm Linda Duncan. I understand there's a problem with your medication?
Yes, you made a mistake filling my warfarin, and I'm very concerned how that happened.
See, I can understand why you would be. Shall we step over to the consultation area?
First of all, the pharmacist suggested we go to a private area. This allowed us to talk without hearing the noise and distractions of the store.
Okay, now why don't you tell me what happened from the very beginning?
Well, I've been getting my warfarin prescription filled here for years. And recently, I told her my concerns about this mistake and what it could have meant. I didn't mince words. I mean, a slip-up like this, if it goes undetected, there's no telling what could happen. I soon realized that the entire time I was talking, all she did was listen. She looked right at me, eye contact and everything, without interrupting. Getting this off my chest took a while, but she waited until I finished. Then, when she spoke, the first thing she did was express her concern.
Mrs. Waters, first let me say I'm sorry you had this problem. I don't know exactly what happened, but you received the wrong strength, and I'm going to fix that for you right now. I'm also glad you contacted your physician because that's what I would do in this case. Same thing. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Your safety is a top priority for us here. You can rest assured we'll look into what happened.
Well, that's very comforting to know. I've been coming here for many years.
We appreciate that, and we want you to keep coming back. Now give me just a few minutes, and I'll be right back with your new medication. While you're waiting, why don't you take a look at this new pamphlet we have on women's health? They did a really good
Well, I must say I was pleasantly surprised by all this. Along with listening to what I had to say, she acted on it quickly.
Now, is there anything else I can do?
No, I think you've taken care of everything. Thank you so much for your help.
My pleasure. And remember, in the future, if you have any questions about your medications, if you see anything that doesn't look right, please call. We're more than happy to discuss it or take a look at it for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's exactly what I wanted. The way the pharmacist treated me and how she handled the situation was honest and professional. When this first happened, I thought I'd be writing a much different letter. But Miss Duncan's response was so sincere and so helpful, I just couldn't let it pass without saying something.
Well, not much you can say after that. Except wouldn't it be great if we got more complaints like this one?
Yeah, I wish we could convince pharmacists that there are ways to treat patients in these situations which can be effective and beneficial.
Being honest, professional, and reassuring. That's a good start. And showing genuine concern for the welfare of your patient.
Plus, remembering that what you say and how you say it can have a positive effect on the situation.
Absolutely. That's the power of words.
a power which helps you promote healthy patient relations. Okay, so back to these.
When talking with patients, always remember the 7 A's. Acknowledge the situation. Appreciate the patient's concern. Assist the patient. Assure the patient you'll take care of the problem. Accept responsibility for solving the problem. Give full attention to the patient. And always empathize with the patient. Remember to follow your pharmacy's policies and procedures when handling patient concerns or incidents. This project was made possible by unrestricted educational grants from Aventis Pharmaceuticals, Cardinal Health, GlaxoSmithKline, and ScriptPro, and with support for the Institute for the Advancement of Community Pharmacy's Patient Safety Fellowship from Pfizer. For additional copies and information, please visit www.advancepharmacy.org.